Rents hike as predictions expire. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, let's look at this article from the ABC News. So Tasmanians face a sudden rent hike as COVID-19's protections expire. Now there was a moratorium on evictions. It'll be interesting to see how this manifests around the country. My understanding is, well, a lot of the regions are apparently a little bit overheated when it comes to rentals, whereas in the city centres, seems to be some good deals. Now, I've asked people to vote on a poll. Have you experienced a rent hike? And I put this up yesterday. 18% said our rents have increased, yes. 3% said yes, they've increased the rents of their tenants. 35% no, our rents have not increased. 2% are still not paying rent, and 41% don't pay rent. And some people have actually had decreases. You can see here, no, decreased by a third. Landlord not paying, and well, sadly they've been evicted. Gone up about $10, $15. 20 rents decreased by 25 in Cairns. And nope, we're on a mortgage. So you can see here rents have, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. But a few people are noticing rent hikes. Some are saying they just got a letter when they received my video. So let's have a look at what's happening in Tasmania. So Tasmanian residential tenants have been hit with rent hikes of up to $100 a week, with a wave of increases following the end of the COVID-19 rental protections. There are going to be some people that, well, they want to make up the money they've lost. This is a risk to being a landlord. Did you expect this? Did you plan for the government rental protections? So, property. There's a lot of risks to being a landlord. I suspect some people don't appreciate it. Huon Valley residents Ken Denman has lived in his rental property for more than 5 years. He now feels trapped after signing a lease extension in January. Then, just weeks later, being told his rent would skyrocket by 20% from $378 to $450 a week. Wow. Well, he's already signed it, so according to the Tenants Union of Tasmania, he is one of many tenants around the state facing a significant rent increase following the expiry of rental protections at the end of January. His rent went up 5% almost a year ago to $378 for his rural home. That's a fair bit, everyone. $380. I remember we got frustrated. We were living at Kangaroo Point here in Brisbane, a little two-bed Queenslander, and our rent just kept going up every year. I think we started under $390. Got over $410, and this wasn't a flash place. It was, we were across the road from Finlayson's, guys. We had five lanes of traffic. That's why we didn't want to raise kids in that house. His wife lost her income entirely for 8 months after the onset of the pandemic, and remains on reduced hours, but they've continued to pay their rent. See, this is the thing. This is why people say rent money is dead money, guys. I know it's a cliche, but $380 a week. In January, he signed a lease extension with the price in the agreement still at $380 or $378. But weeks later, he received a notice from his real estate agent that his rent would rise in April to $450. He said the situation was stressful. My understanding was $378 was going to be the rent rate until October, he said. I was shocked and surprised they were proposing such an increase, particularly with the situation of COVID-19 and people struggling at the moment. I feel trapped. I don't have any real options. I don't think I can break the lease without any sort of penalties. The Tenants Union of Tasmania will help Mr. Denman apply to the Residential Tenancy Commission to fight the increase, but Principal Solicitor Ben Bartle said Tasmania's rules made it difficult. The difficulty for Ken and tenants across Tasmania is the only consideration that the Tenancy Commission takes into account is the market, he said. If market rents in the area Ken lives and surrounding areas is going up 20%, then unfortunately the application is likely to be unsuccessful. I mean, this is the rub, guys. The cash rate is at such a low level. If you're paying $450 a week rent, you could borrow a decent chunk of money, everyone. You could... But can you even get houses for that coin anymore down in Tassie? Because it's overheating down there. Tasmania, of all places. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's bloody cold. You've got to learn how to make a fire in a fireplace, like a savage. Not like us sophisticated people in Queensland that just, sweat all the time from the horrible humid weather. Gotta love Australia. So a wave of significant rent increases. Mr. Bartle says Tasmanian law means tenants could sign a 12-month lease thinking the rent was set. Yeah, doesn't that make sense? But later be hit with an increase they could not afford to pay. He said the state needed stricter rental control laws. How can they increase the rent while you've signed a lease? Isn't that a renegotiation of the contract? You've got a deal. If they come in and saying, okay, we're increasing the rent, oh, fine. We're not going to take it. We're going. We're leaving. It's an extremely unfair system for residential tenants, he said. Before the protections expire, Mr. Bartlett warned, there could be a wave of significant rent increases across the state. He said his concerns are now being borne out. We've got lots of tenants calling with $50 to $60 increases, and in one case, a $100 a week increase. I mean, that's, for a weekly budget, over a month, that's $200 at $50. That's decent coin. That adds up, guys. That's a fair amount of food. There was a sharp increase to your costs. Where, I've got a mortgage. Well, I'm renting a place as well now, but I've got a mortgage and I've locked that in for 4 years, just for some certainty. And because it will ensure I spend my money on the renovation and not just put it off longer to pay off the entire mortgage. I think that's kind of what Rachel was pushing me for. Oh, come on, let's just pay it off. Another couple of years in this place. Yeah, she's getting angry. So Building Minister says some protections remain. Building Minister Heise Architecture said despite the expiry, laws still offer some protections for tenants. She said rent could only be increased once every 12 months, and the increase required 60 days notice. Okay, see, that seems strange to me. The rent should only be increased at the negotiation of a contract. But then again, I guess tenants want longer term rentals. They want that security. So it's a double-edged sword. She said you should be, if there is a rent increase, that should be an ability to leave the premises without having to worry about the contract. She said the tenancy commissioner could consider issues such as the condition of a property, maintenance, location, or any other relevant factors which may increase or lower a property's appeal, while assigning an unreasonable rent increase application, or while assessing. The Residential Tenancy Act says the Commissioner must consider the general levels of rent for comparable premises in a similar area, and any other relevant matter. I mean, this just seems like a nightmare, having to deal with all these bureaucrats and this BS and this government. Yeah, I can see why people will throw everything they can just to get in housing, to get away from this pain in the ass. Everyone in Australia wants to be a slumlord, but no one wants to, no one appreciates the responsibilities that come with that. They go on a current affair, or they get articles written in them about ABC, about poor landlords who can't afford all these things. I mean, it's a mess here, guys. It really is. We've created this situation where so many people are using property just to mitigate tax, and they're thinking it's the only way they can get ahead. In a 2018 decision upholding a 17% increase, the Commissioner wrote, "The Act does not require me or enable me to regulate the market, simply to assess rents in line with what the market is currently achieving." Ms. Archer said the Tenancy Commissioner was considering 4 applications for unreasonable rent increases, a figure which was consistent with the same period last year. So there we have it, everyone. Rents are getting hiked, at least in Tasmania now, and we'll have to see how that manifests throughout all of Australia. What do you reckon? Why is this happening in Tasmania? I guess more people want to see change. Maybe they want to get away from the mainland. Yeah. Shouldn't those Airbnbs be putting some downward pressure on rent? What do you reckon, anyone? Let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. How has your rental, has your rent hiked? Have you been hit with extra cost? Let us know. Participate in the poll on the community page, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.